Hi, and welcome to another episode of If I Speak. We've got the usual panel with us today. What are you saying, guys? Hope you're all good. No, okay. A lot of sad faces. I don't know why, but yeah. If you're new around here, don't forget to like, subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as our Instagram and Twitter as well. We're quite active on those, and we'll just get straight into the match reviews. I'm going to take the lead on this one because I just feel it's right. So our game against West Brom, for people that don't know, we lost 5-2 at home to West Brom. Pains me to say that, but it was God, this game was just it's just such an embarrassing result. Like even before we came on air and stuff, we're going through the results and stuff, and obviously because of this brilliant result yesterday against Porto, just completely forgot about the West Brom game in a sense, and it's just so embarrassing that we lost 5-2. Like there's no excuse. There's no excuse for it in a sense because we played so poorly. Like it's just I want to see it as an off day for us, but our current league form is kind of worrying now. I'm starting to worry a little bit about our league form because I was having a look before as well. We've drawn to Southampton, which is 1-1. We had obviously a great result against Liverpool, Everton and stuff. We also drew to Leeds 0-0 as well. Manchester United, we drew 0-0 as well. And then obviously the calamitous stuff that happened on Saturday against West Brom, which was 5-2. But my general thoughts about the game, I thought Alonso was shocking that game. As much as I want to blame Thiago Silva for the red card, I feel like it wasn't his fault. And I don't think he could have done much more. I solely blame Jorginho for the loss. Maybe I'm going a bit over the top with that sense, but I feel like if Jorginho's passing was actually better, then Thiago Silva wouldn't get those yellow cards. And even he was still a bit rusty. Like he looked a bit nervous. I don't know what it is against West Brom, man. West Brom are 100% our bogey team. Even Thiago Silva at the start of the season, he was just so bad. And then it just showed again. But yeah, we brushed it under the carpet, to be honest, which was good. And then Tuchel called out a lot of players as well, gave them a kick up the backside, basically. And then there was a lot of rumours that were true in the sense that there was a lot of training ground bust-ups and stuff. So Kepa and Rudiger had a fight. Apparently Reece James and Azpilicueta had a bit of words exchanged. Ultimately, though, it paid off for us because we had a fantastic result against Porto in the Champions League Quater-Final. We essentially got the 2 away goals, and what's weird is we play our home leg next week, which is at the same stadium, so it's just a swap of kits basically. That's essentially what it is. But I'll probably say for the Champions League game, we weren't at our best, but just as usual, we defended superbly. I thought the back three, Rudiger, Christensen, Azpilicueta, I think that's our best back three at the moment. It just showed we kept Morega on lock basically, and the other striker, I think it was Luis Diaz or someone, I can't remember his name, but yeah, we kept those on lock. Morega, like most of the Porto team were fucking diving, man. It pissed me off as well. Like they were diving so much, and it's just like, bro, just get up, man. And for once as well, I saw a Chelsea team that were clinical. Like I say on this podcast every single week that Chelsea not clinical enough. It's gonna bite us in the back so many times. And I was saying to a few people yesterday that our result yesterday reminded me sort of how Man United play, in the sense that they don't play well at times, but they know how to get results. And that's kind of what we did yesterday. We knew how to grind out 2 goals. And it was great from Mason Mount as well. Like you guys probably are sick of hearing the guy's name, but I'm going to keep saying his name, man. He's just such a baller, man. Like that turn, the pass from Jorginho was really good as well. And the finish as well. And his work rate is just excellent as well. And this should just confirm that he's like my personal and should be Chelsea's player of the year and should definitely get into the team this season, in my opinion. But Edouard Mendy had an excellent game as well. Not that I fault him for any of the stuff that happened at West Brom. I don't think any of it was his fault. But he let in 5 goals against West Brom. That's people gonna look at that and say you conceded 5. I will as well. But I thought he was excellent yesterday. Took control of the game. Whereas, like, say if Kepa was in goal, he wouldn't catch acrosses or wouldn't give that confidence in the defense. I thought Abhinav won't like to hear this, but I thought Reece James was fantastic as well yesterday. I had that right side on lock, was fantastic going forward and defensively. Only issue for me was the balls over the top were a bit crap basically. There were so many times where we could have been in if it was a better ball from Azpilicueta, Rudiger, Christensen over to the left wing back or right wing back in Chilwell and Reece James. But overall, I'd like to say we're through to the semi-final, but in the Champions League you just never know, especially how well Porto played yesterday as well. Like big credit to them as well. But we got one, I think one shoe in the semi-final. Just have to keep it composed and stuff, and hopefully we can bounce back in the league against Palace, because like I said, our league form's kind of worrying, and I hope that us as Chelsea, we don't put all our eggs into one basket into the Champions League, because we saw what happened with, say, with Arsenal with the Europa League a couple of seasons back. They put all their eggs in that basket and ended up losing the Europa League final and didn't make top four. So I don't want us to go down that route as well. I want us to focus on top four, then Champions League, because I feel that's more important, especially with teams like Leicester not in the Champions League anymore. Tottenham obviously no Europe anymore. Potentially Liverpool no more Europe as well. Like, we don't know yet, obviously, because of the result, but they could be out as well. So they might put all their focus into that as well. So it's kind of just us, and you got West Ham as well. I forgot about them as well. So I guess it's a bit of pressure for us, and I just hope we can turn around against Palace. But overall, mixed feelings about the week. But yeah, I'll actually go to Abhinav on this then. So same for you, really. Mixed week. So you had a good result against Arsenal. You beat them 3-0. And then your Champions League result wasn't that great. You lost 3-1 to Real Madrid. So give me your overall thoughts on that, on this week, basically.
Yeah, I'll talk about the Arsenal game first, because I thought for that game, for maybe the majority of 70 minutes, we were controlling the game well. We were on top of them, but we weren't creating much. And then we made the switch to play Jota on with our front three. And I think once we switched to 4-2-3-1, putting Firmino next to centre backs basically pushed them back, and they couldn't commit forward. So we had Arsenal on the back foot for 20 minutes, and that's when we created most of our chances. Trent with a brilliant cross, and it just goes to show like what a game changer Jota is now that he's back and fit. And I thought going into the next game, and I thought it was a really good result actually, because that kept us 2 points off Chelsea and three off top four. So it's a big boost.
Isn't it 2 off top 4? Or was it 3?
I think
it's 2. I think you and Tottenham on the same points now, aren't you? 49 each.
Oh yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
no, sugar. No, I forgot about West Ham winning. Yeah,
because West Ham won. Yeah, so
yeah,
it was 2, and then West Ham won. So then they made it 3. So
3, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it just goes to show how up and down this league table has been in the past few weeks. Like, anything can happen in a few games. And I thought we would bring that momentum back into the Real Madrid game. We had the options available attack-wise to punish them, but I was watching that game and I was just completely shocked, just because I think usually I don't give Klopp much blame for performances, because a lot of it is down to the players this season. But Klopp made a lot of mistakes in that game. I think I'll start from goalkeeper. The goalkeeper, Alisson, he doesn't he's been struggling with near post shots for a while now. Like, this season, every single time there's a near post shot, he just pushes it. He doesn't commit to it, and we concede a lot of goals from that. So I thought he was at fault for a couple of the goals. Robertson, nothing much happened from his side. He didn't really attack as well as I wanted him to, and defensive wise, they didn't really threaten us on that side. It was obvious from the beginning that they were going to target Phillips and Trent on the right hand side, and I think it only made it worse when we played Keita on the right hand side, because with Keita, his job every time he plays is basically to bring the ball forward. When he brings the ball forward, who's going to cover for Trent and Phillips on that right hand side? So every time we play with Keita, we play him on the left, and we chose to play him on the right, which was a really, really big mistake. I saw the lineup and I thought it's actually a good team, we can actually go at them. But when we started playing, we put Keita on the right. We just gave them way too much space. They just had to switch it from the right hand side to the left, and they were in acres of space, and they could attack Phillips and Trent. I think the pressure definitely got to Trent. He had a good performance in Arsenal, but you can't excuse it. I defend Trent a lot, but those mistakes were just.
Oh yeah, I know you do.
Yeah, they were just really bad. I don't know. I don't know what to say to that, because everyone knows how good he is attacking wise and defense. And he's a liability defensive wise, but he's never really made mistakes like that in a big game. Usually in the big games, he's the one controlling midfield. He's the one going forward. He's full of confidence. But that game, he just looked a different man, and Phillips didn't help either. I was saying to you earlier, obviously Phillips has done a great job considering like the circumstances, but eventually his quality will show, and he is a, I'd say a championship level player, or a or like a lower table Premier League player. He's a Burnley player basically, and that will eventually show when he comes up against the likes of Benzema and any other quality player. And he has a mistake in him, and I thought his positioning was his reading of the ball, like the ball over the top from Cruz. Credit to Cruz, a brilliant ball, but why are we leaving him Cruz with like 4 seconds to ping a ball across, and it's just basic stuff. Like the entire team should have been pressing from the off. The front four, I felt were actually pressing, but then if they don't work as a unit, if it's not attack, midfield, and defense all pressing together, then it's just dysfunctional. Then there's loads of space in the middle. The midfield was so poor, and they were just ball watching the entire game. They were just letting Modric and Cruz do whatever they wanted to, and that's not how you play against those quality teams. Obviously we're Liverpool and our midfield quality isn't great, so we can't go at them, play their style. We can't pass it around them. If there's any way we can beat them, it's by not allowing them to have time on the ball, like space on the ball, and we afforded way too much of that. And I thought with the front three, Mane again was shocking. Mane was every single counter attack, he would run forward and then he would stick his ass out and then try and go for a foul, and then it wouldn't be a foul, and then he's complaining, and then there's another counter attack. So Madrid had at least 4 attacks from just Mane losing the ball in a dangerous area. I thought.
What do you think's happened to him this season? Do you think it's it's a weird one with Mane, because like the play that you saw last season, in my opinion, I don't know what everyone else thinks, but I thought he was your best player last season. Obviously, everyone else was great, but it's such a big drop. But that's like with the most Liverpool team, obviously this year, like the level's not there. But I just think Mane has just dropped completely compared to everyone else.
Yeah, the thing is, I could understand he's just out of form, and he's not scoring, but he's not quick as he used to be.
That's what I noticed as well.
He can't. When I watch him play, it's like I'm watching Keita basically. Like you can't distinguish between the two. They're both really slow now. He can't turn his man, take on a man. That's what he's good at. He's good at taking on a man. Yeah. He's a crowd pleaser. He makes the game exciting, and he can't do that either. He can't make the passes. He can't make the moves. He's getting in spaces and he's getting chances. He's wasting them as well. So I think online people are saying ever since COVID he hasn't been the same. So he may be suffering from long COVID, and that could be why. Because you can't just. Because I remember the Chelsea game where Mane was all over you. That was one of his best performances in a while. And then right after that, he got COVID, and he hasn't been the same. And he's a completely different player. And I don't know. And a lot of people are questioning whether we should, because the way we function as a club is we are basically sell to buy. So we'll sell. We'll have to sell one of the front three to get adequate squad depth or just to refresh the team. So. If we're gonna sell anyone, Mane might also be one to bank on, because it just does. Yeah, a lot of people are saying that now, because there's only a certain amount. Like it's okay if he's missing chances and that's the only part of his game, but there's nothing in his game right now which is helping us. He's playing against us in some games, so it's really really poor from him. I wouldn't personally sell, but. We need someone to basically give him competition. We have Jota. He's doing that right now. But we saw when Jota got injured, Mane was playing all the games. So we need maybe one more player, maybe a forward, just so that Jota can fill in for Mane. But I don't know what's going on with Mane, to be honest. And I think he's just been burnt out as well. Like a lot of the other people said is. Yeah. For the past few seasons, our only backups are Origi and Shaqiri, and the thing is, Shaqiri is injured most of the season, and Origi you just can't trust. He's just going to slow down the game. So, and he hasn't scored any off the bench in ages. So, there's no real point bringing them off. So, Mane's ended up playing most of them. So, I think that's everything on Mane. Firmino didn't play, but he came on, and I think when he came on, Real Madrid found it a bit difficult to play out from the back, because they had to be wary of Firmino in the middle, basically occupying in between the two centre backs. Salah, I thought Salah does what he does. He always scores in the big games. he was struggling to link up with everyone else. I think when we made the switch, we had Wijnaldum on the right-hand side, and with Wijnaldum, you can't really link up with him. You'll give him a pass, you'll take a touch, and then 3-yard backwards pass, or even a 3-yard pass that he doesn't even make the play because it's too weak. It's like he's scared in these sort of games. So I don't know. Collectively, as a front three, I thought I don't think Mane, Salah, Jota work together as a three, just because they're all two similar players. They're all
you need that
players
link from like Firmino, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. Like for me, like with Mane, Salah, and Jota, they're both waiting on the end of a ball rather than dropping back and linking up with each other. So there's no link between the front three. So, but that's the problem though. Like, irrespective of like which team we play, we're gonna have to play either one of Firmino or Mane, and they haven't been performing to the way we want them to. And Klopp as well. Klopp should have started Thiago. This is what he's bought in. He's bought in for these big games where you need a technical
experience
player
as well.
with experience. And he looked all right when he came on. And he made the mistake with Keita playing on the right. And the substitutions as well were just really weird. Like Shaqiri doesn't offer anything, and I don't think he should have been brought on. They should have just switched to a 4-2-3-1 like we did against Arsenal. So yeah, it's just really shocking. And I don't know if there's any chance of coming back because usually when there's a crowd in Anfield, you can hope for a result. But this time around, I just can't see it. We're expected to score 2 goals at Anfield, and we haven't scored more than 1 at Anfield in a game in 2021.
That's a staggering stat, but yeah, it's a weird one because that's the sort of beauty and the power of the Champions League, in the sense that you could be losing, say 2-1. Like say take the Man City Dortmund game for example. Like fair enough, City scored in the last minute against Dortmund, but Dortmund kind of have an advantage because of that away goal. That's what I'd probably say with Liverpool as well. I don't know what you guys think as well, but with that away goal, I just think that it could swing things your way, because I don't think anyone should ever underestimate like Liverpool on Champions League night, like crowd regardless. I just think that in that competition, they're the two teams, Real Madrid, Liverpool, you can't just rule out. Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's a bit difficult to rule Liverpool out, but I do think, like, unfortunately for you, fortunate for us, but that Real Madrid are probably through. But say it had to be 3-0. Like if it was 3-0, then maybe it'd be a bit more difficult. But yeah, any other thoughts I've been having on Liverpool at the moment?
No, I think I covered everything. It's just
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. All right, then away from the Champions League stuff, then we'll go to you then, Shivam. You had a big Yorkshire derby weekend. You beat Sheffield United 2-1. You weren't happy with Tyler Roberts being fouled or subbed off or whatever.
Yeah, slide tackled. Yeah, dirtiest tackle I've ever seen, man. And what annoyed me more.
It's a derby, innit? It's a derby.
Yeah, I mean these things happen, but what annoyed me more is the player should have got a red card, and you see him 10 minutes later walking off the pitch, you know, or whenever it was later on in the game. And obviously Sheffield United, because of the new rule of concussion subs, could obviously use him and took him off, and then they still had an additional 3 subs available for them to use. But yeah, all in all, 2-1. I mean, Sheffield United, I mean, they're a pub side. I mean, they're just this season they've just been terrible, and whereas we've been in flying form, like we've just been the best we probably can be, and like again, we're one of them teams where when it comes to chances, creating chances, like no matter who you are, whether you're Sheffield United, whether you're Chelsea, Man United, Liverpool, whoever you are, this season we've showed we can create chances. The only thing is putting them chances away. Obviously, is we're not always the best at. I mean, the chances just flew that much. We should have won like 20-0, the way I see it, and it didn't happen. No, we had Dallas had a few shots, very close. He hit the bar once. Second time he was very close from it going in, just didn't happen. But all in all, yeah, I mean, it was such an easy game. Like I think it's the easiest game this season on probably on paper and watching it as well. Like normally I've been tense because it's Premier League, it's a level up, but this game was just even more so than the first one against Sheffield. It was just such an easy game. Like I just sat back, just having a laugh, really, at just watching how terrible they were. I mean, that second goal, I mean, we were quite lucky in the sense that, well, not lucky, it was their stupidity in the sense that we got on goal. because Harrison just crossed it in, and I think it would have gone in anyway. But the defender just stuck his leg out and tucked it away. But yeah, I mean, it's such an easy game for us. I mean, the amount of chances we had, that should have been like realistically speaking, it should have been like 5-6, 6-0, 6-1 or whatever.
Where's the highest you guys can finish, by the way, in the table?
I don't know, no idea.
Because I know you and Arsenal are both on 42 points. I think below you, or is it Villa just below you, or Villa just above Arsenal?
Villa are just above us, I think.
So you guys could potentially finish in the top 8, really, maybe, depending on Villa's games in hands. If they obviously win those, then
it depends though, because obviously Villa have got Grealish back now, and he's just a game changer.
Yeah.
And obviously we've got really hard fixtures coming up, so which I'll talk about probably more later. But like we've got, we've got Man United next, and obviously we saw what happened last time. We don't want the same thing to happen again.
Next, but then United.
We've got City as well.
Yeah.
City's next game. Yeah, we've got City. Obviously top of the league. We drew against them last time, 1-1, but that was like way start of the season. We've got Tottenham again. We've got Liverpool again. So it's not looking good. But let's see what happens. I mean, any points we can take would be good. But yeah, all in all, we're one of them sides we can create chances. It's just about putting it away, and that's what sort of like irritates me a bit as a fan. Like I'm glad we're winning, and it looks good. You're getting 3 points, but when you've seen that you're that close from tucking the game away early on, like first half against Sheffield United, that should have been it. We should have scored 3-4 goals and that's it. Just chill and stick to under 23s on. That's what it should have been, and give them a bit of game time, because I think what Bielsa has done this season is he's put his best team out every game, and
no rotation is there.
Yeah, I mean there's not really much rotation. I mean there's a lot of players we have like who have not even had like many minutes. Like, I think we need to get them in, especially people like even Pablo Hernandez, who I think is going to retire at the end of the season. Like he's quite old. I think he's like 35, and he's been playing for time. I played for Leeds, Valencia, Swansea, everywhere. But it's like I think we've got to give him a bit of game time. If this is his final season as a footballer, let's in the Premier League as well, top flight of English football. Let's give him some minutes. We're secure where we are, so why not? I mean, even the youngsters, they've been so good for their under 23 or under 18 teams, under 23 teams. I mean, in the under 23s, Leeds are top of the league in second division, which is pretty impressive. And I think it's like a 10-point gap or 12-point gap between first and second. And then players have just been crazy. So I think if we can add them into the game, it would be good. But then again, now we've got these big fixtures coming up, and now you can't really afford to do that. So again, it's like you're playing these same players, we're playing week in, week out. So is this really the best time to be playing these players now, where towards the end of the season you're going to get burnt out next couple of games, and you've got City, United, Liverpool, Tottenham, whoever else? It's like it's not ideal. But we'll see what happens. I mean, I'll take anything. I'll take any points we get from them games. I'll be happy with. Like especially where we are in the league. I mean, this season's been a bit of a funny season for most clubs, but for us, I think it's worked in our favour a bit. So where we are, if we can sustain that league coming into this season, I'm happy with it. But it all just depends. Like if we don't want this to be happening next season, when it does hopefully go back to normal and teams start performing and whatnot. So it's just about putting our chances away. I think that's a really annoying factor. That and the fact that players are going to get burnt out. That's it really. Yeah.
Oh, cheers for that, Shivam. Yeah, it's gonna be entertaining. I think, like you said, with some of Leeds' upcoming games. We'll obviously get onto that later on. But all right, next we're going to Mr. Bottle Job then, Nandu. So you guys had a very we had an embarrassing result. You had an embarrassing result as well, drawing 2-2 to Newcastle. Have taken the lead. Oh, no, you didn't take the lead. You came back from a goal down, took the lead, and then 86th minute, Arsenal legend Joe Willock scores. Just talk to me, bruv.
I mean, that just sums up our season, doesn't it? We got an Arsenal player.
Harry Kane was sick, by the way, that game. Yeah,
he was. And we got Joe Linton scoring against us as well. I think it just sums up a whole season, to be honest. I think before the game, when I saw the lineup, I was pretty optimistic going into the game, because we had Rodon, Tanganga, and Lascelles back into the starting 11. But I think into the game, it just, I don't know, it just didn't click as much as we wanted it to be. First goal that we conceded, it wasn't much of a surprise. And then obviously we came back with a good ball from Ndombele and Lo Celso. I think for both the goals as well, quick fire goals from Kane. But I don't know, it's not a surprise with the way we concede now, because I think it's mainly just Sanchez. Whenever I see this guy, I just want to cry, because it's just how are you a centre back and you're playing like this?
Didn't he cost wasn't he record signing centre back or something?
Yeah, at one point, yeah, it was like 40 mil.
That's mad.
But how are you a centre back and you got no authority? There's literally nothing about him that's just centre back worthy. You're just watching him, yeah, and he's literally just vibing. He doesn't look around him. He's literally off the line. He's literally the only centre back, or the only one out of the back four that's literally out of position. For the second goal, it's basically what Maguire did against us with you know how he just ran into one of the other players for this.
Oh yeah,
for the
yeah.
First and second goal. That's basically what happened, and I don't know. I just want to see him go now. I've given him too many chances and thought that, this guy's going to have hope, maybe bringing another centre-back alongside with him. But I'm going to say the opposite, and he just needs to get binned at the end of the season and bring someone alongside this Roden, because he's our only hope with the centre-back partnership. Maybe bring in Skriniar, because I think we're linked with him again, because Inter in financial troubles, in it. So, yeah. Nothing much to say about it.
As a legend said, it's time to go, innit, for Sanchez.
It's time to go.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks. Sorry, go on.
I think without starting 11, there's only like 3 or 4 players that are like core to our whole team now. I think it'll be like, if we build a team around Rodon and Ndombele, I can't really say Kane because he might leave in the next 2 seasons. But
telling you, man, he needs to go, man. He needs to go.
I
actually feel sorry for the guy at this point, even though he's Tottenham, bro. He deserves so much better as a player, genuinely.
Like, you know how I said last week Bayern were linked to Son? This week, week, they're saying the news is fake, and he's just using that. His agents are just using that as leverage to increase the contract for Son to stay at the club. So I don't know what Levy's got on all these players here, but somehow all these players are willing to stay and have some hope, which I don't know where that's coming from. I don't know what sort of bullshit Levy's saying to all these players, which are getting these players so optimistic. And
why don't you go and find out? You're on the car anyway. Why don't you go and find out?
It's the easy life. It's the easy life. Don't turn up.
Exactly.
Offer him a hair transplant and have a little talk with him, innit?
Oh man, I love speaking about Tottenham just because it's just it's just a band, but it's just bants, to be honest. Just Tottenham, that's it. Any other thoughts? Or no?
I got nothing to say.
Fair enough.
It's literally the same thing every week now.
Fair enough. And finally, we're going to Kunar then. So, all the top teams sort of drop points. So obviously Chelsea drop points, Spurs drop points. But Leicester dropped points as well. That's it, against Manchester City. They lost 2-0, and Man United pulled through. It wasn't a convincing win. You got 1-2-1 against Brighton, but that gives a bit of space now between you and the rest of the chasing pack for top 4. So, give me your thoughts, Connor, on the United Brighton game.
Just like you said, not a convincing result for United, not a convincing performance, a convincing result, and we finally capitalized on other big teams dropping points, but we see this time and again, whenever there is an international break, as soon as the Premier League comes back, the smaller teams start performing well. And I believe that is because the players from smaller teams don't go on their international duty and they have a lot more time to train together and recover properly, which the big teams don't. So when I saw the Chelsea result, because the Chelsea result happened before United played, so I was
not players played international break. It was a joke, man. The amount of times Mason Mount, Chilwell played. Like other players, like Havertz, Werner played a lot as well. But yeah, Karen, sorry, man.
Exactly. So when I saw the Chelsea result, I was quite scared that Brighton might give us a good game, which they did. And in the end, we pulled through. United now have won 25 points from losing positions in the Premier League. That is the most. Leicester are second, I guess, at 21. So that's 8 wins and a draw from losing positions, which is great. We are seeing that fight back from United, which we saw in the Sir Alex Ferguson days. Ollie has brought that into the side. And just like you said earlier, we are seeing performances from United where, yes, we are not performing at our best, but we are winning games. So I'm very happy with the result. And there were a few issues I had with the game. First of all, the referee, I guess it was Craig Pawson. I'm not sure.
Really?
Yeah, so he basically, for the first goal, when Rashford scored, Bruno Fernandes was fouled like a second ago. And just because we scored a goal, he did not give the defender a yellow card. And he gave Cavani a yellow card for basically putting up or basically going in his face that should be a yellow card. But I don't see the point in where a foul is committed, and if a goal takes place, you just turn a blind eye to it. I don't understand why. Apart from the refereeing, I don't have much to say about the game. The only other thing I would like to say is that I don't understand why Ollie is playing Rashford even though he's injured. He looks injured. He's been
I read something
he's
about
looked
that.
injured
He was injured for a bit as well. It's just weird that
he's been injured from the past 8 months.
Wow.
As per news, and he's been on and off, and that is why we are not seeing him perform brilliantly. He still has the numbers. He has more than 15 goals this season for United, but then we're not seeing the peak Rashford. We've seen that he can play really well, and he is the main man. And McTominay and Rashford are Ollie's favorite players, but then give Rashford a break, which I think he'll be given tonight against Granada. But then you got to give him some break. Now we have a lot of big games coming up. We have Tottenham, although Tottenham aren't performing really well this season, but they always turn up against United. We saw that in the 6-1 loss, and then we've got Burnley, but then we still have Leeds to play. We still have Liverpool to play. We still have Aston Villa to play, who are in-form sides. And
Leicester as well, I think you guys got to play as well, right? I think
we still have Leicester to play. So quite a few big games, and I don't see the point of playing Rashford week in, week out when you can give him a break, play him in the last 5 games of the Premier League, and we can have Rashford who is back to full fitness, and then he can perform. So apart from that, that's it. A good result for United at the end.
Yeah, fair enough. I think all in all, just to sum up this review section, I think West Ham are laughing right now. That's the end of this review section, I guess. That's it.